My name is Ronnie Goodless and you're watching Toffee TV.
Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. We've got Matt Jones joining us on the couch today to talk about this amazing game, guys. It's just an amazing game against Watford. We're just rampaging towards this semi-final. This big Wembley day out.
Stop the rot.
We are. It was a strong performance.
I want you straight away because I was so excited to come in and talk about this game and how amazing it was.
It was such a strong performance as the juggernaut continues to the semi-final. I don't even know why we're making this video, because I just don't think anyone's going to watch, because this is just like, I can't wait, lads, to see your reaction to this game. It's going to be amazing.
To this game,
yeah.
I don't think people were that.
Well, before we start talking about the game, let's talk about the banners. A couple of banners in the card. One on, for Leighton Baines. Leighton Baines is one of us, so there's that one, and then there's also the Martinez out one, which was
held by Leighton Baines.
Held by Leighton Baines, or someone who looks very, very close to him. That would be Kane. He looks very close to him, and then it was mocked up. Is that what? Are we going to increasingly see that?
I don't know. I can't speak.
No, but do you think we will? Or do you think we'll see?
What I was surprised was there wasn't any kind of vocal stuff once the game got underway towards the manager was to show. Maybe, I don't know, maybe people will just do it beforehand and then get behind the team, which is probably the right thing to do anyway. I think as it goes on, possibly we will see more and more.
They grabbed the headlines though, didn't they? I mean, the pictures grabbed the headlines, so they've done what they needed to do without affecting the team.
I didn't go to it, but one of the lads who goes to the away games of us went, he said the atmosphere was just flat.
Yeah.
Like I said to him, did anyone say anything about the banners, or was there any vitriol towards the players? And he said it was just flat, just apathy really. Everyone's kind of just accepting it. It was just a bit of a little bit passive, and I think I said this last time, so I'm worried that by the time that the fans do get angry and start making the feelings known, it might be a little bit too late. And I've seen some people criticising the banners, saying we shouldn't be doing this sort of thing with a semi-final to come. We should be getting behind the club, getting behind the manager. But this situation is entirely the manager and the team's own making now, and it's a point in the season where you want to be kicking on, you want to be finishing strongly, and to see the performances we've had the last two games against Manchester United and Arsenal, which were just so poor, teams didn't look interested. It's understandable to me that the fans are starting to make the feelings known, and provided these sorts of performances continue, then there's going to be more banners, because I feel as though it always sometimes just take one, doesn't it? Because anyone who's kind of on the fence about it, thinking, it might take something, feel like I should make something known. You've seen it with Arsenal. They brought a banner to, I think it was the whole game about Wenger, and there's been more and more popping up now recently saying, time to go, thanks for the memories, those sorts of things. So perhaps this will be the trigger for more going forward.
Yeah, I mean, because you're saying there people getting angry. I don't think anyone's got really angry about it. You get a few people going, it's cop-out behaviour and all that. I still don't know what cop-out behaviour is, but you're seeing that, people saying that. But when I spoke to people on Twitter and things like that and said, someone have a discussion with me about Martinez and why you like him, and the best thing anyone says about him is, well, I'd like to give him time to change. So it's like saying, we know he's not doing a good job, but we'd like to see him turn it around. So it's not even like these are all his plus points. It's just like we'd like to see him turn it around.
But everyone wouldn't he?
Yeah.
We'd like to sit here and we just won 4-0 at Watford, and it's our 9th win on the run, and he's getting all applauded. We've said it many times. He's lovely. He's a great fella. You interview him. He's brilliant, and everything else. That's fantastic. But every year's going, every game, every week's going by, nothing changes, and we all want him to succeed, because we'd rather just focus on the team. And to be honest with you, I'm not really going to go on about the manager, because I've made me.
Yeah, but I just wanted to talk about the banners more than anything else, and then move on of it. To be fair, Martinez didn't make too much of them. He just said, it's part of the job. And but the game itself, I mean, like you're saying, Matt, just a very flat game. I had a very end of season kind of nothing riding on it for both teams feeling to it, which annoyed me, because you would think that, I don't know which one it was worse for, to be honest, Baz, because they haven't won for a long time, but I suppose being Watford, the pressure's not really on them. They're in the semi-final. That is enough for them. But for us, you think there's a few more players trying to pull it out, trying to make sure, you know, lads, we've been awful the last few weeks, it's time we changed it round, it's time we start to... But you're not really seeing that, and I suppose that's the most disappointing thing. You're just not seeing the players, you know. And as much as we have a go at the manager, you're just not seeing anything from the players. And they have, you know, for us, it's a massive game, the semi-final, in terms of getting to that final, trying to win that trophy, leaving some kind of legacy, and not seeing it from them. And it's just...
I think the 2 points are, first of all, both teams looked as though they probably didn't want to pick up any injuries with a couple of weeks ago before it. That's the first thing, because there wasn't really a decent tackle in the game.
Ironically, you picked up 2 injuries.
And we picked up 2 anyway, yeah, which was a bit mad. And the second thing, yeah, listen, we have, the manager has taken some stick, but I've said it time and time again, is that, you know, the millionaires on the pitch, they're the reason we are where we are. They play the game. The manager might put practices into place and different things, but they're not playing well. They're not playing well enough. None of them are playing well enough. Again at the weekend, you know, I think probably Joel, followed by Gareth Barry. Someone said Seamus Coleman had a good game. I was like, that's not Seamus Coleman who I know. That was just some kid that ran up and down and ran up his own arse many a time. But there's no response, and it probably comes from the management side, and it probably comes from the fact that we haven't got a decent captain in the dressing room. So, because every one of them, you know, instead of talking to the papers about Champions League and things like that, they should be firing themselves up to go out and perform. And the worrying thing, isn't it, and I said this after Arsenal, they look like they've all lost sight of whatever they're supposed to be doing. Don't look like a team anymore.
Doesn't look fixable to me anymore. Just the way they played in these last 3 games, just indicative of a group of players who've just down tools on the manager for me. And it reminds me a little bit of the way Mourinho went to Chelsea earlier in the season. Players coming out in the press, making these little remarks, you know, having little sly digs here and there, and it seemed as though there was a tide turning against him. And I kind of half expected a response this weekend, because Martinez came out in the press conference, obviously all this stuff with Leighton Baines, Lukaku's been saying things, and I thought maybe that will galvanise them a little bit to go to Watford, who are a team, as you mentioned, who've been in poor form, and have a go at them and try and assert themselves on the game. And it was just, we had a few chances in the second half, granted, but there was never any intensity to try and keep them pinned back. There was never any sustained spells of pressure in the game. And ultimately, I think our first goal actually came from the fact that Watford's defence had it so easy in the first half that they just switched off completely, because they didn't have anything to do. Lukaku wasn't turning them, he wasn't in the physical battle, he was isolated again, and it was just so pedestrian and so easy. And it's people keep pointing to this FA Cup, and you know, it's a crutch for him, isn't it, essentially now, Martinez. He's using it, he's mentioning it all the time, and he's saying how it's affecting us. But once you shift down a few gears in the Premier League, it is hard to shift through it again. Yeah. And if they keep playing like this and keep thinking about the semi-final, it's going to be so hard for them to get up for that game again, because United were, you know, beat us last week, and you look at West Ham, how they've been playing recently. We need to get some momentum going before that game, but I just struggle to see where it's going to come from at the moment. Do you think, it might sound stupid, do you think the fact that we don't know we're playing in the semi doesn't help either? I think it's for me, it's like, I know that they play this week. I think not knowing who we're playing is almost like, at the moment, it's like we don't know who to sort of get up for it. The season on hold. So.
Yeah, it's like I don't. But I suppose that's one thing. But playing Watford as well is obviously they're in the semi-final as well. We've got Palace going up there in the semi-final as well. They're going to have to start kicking it up, because forget about the semi-final. There's this Merseyside derby 3 or 4 days before, and they're not exactly. You know, Liverpool are the top goal scorers in the Premier League in 2016.
Are they?
Yeah.
I watched.
Where's that come from?
Exactly.
I watched a lot of games this weekend. I watched the West Ham game, seen Liverpool, bits of Liverpool, and Spurs United as well. And the intensity those teams played with just terrified me, because you look at the way they get after everything, they hunt everything down, they push up the pitch, they're putting tackles in midfield, getting around opposition players. And we just do not do it. Or I've seen a stat today saying we've got the less interceptions than any team in the Premier League, and that just sums up a team who doesn't go hunting for the ball. And you think back to the games when we played well this season, away at Southampton and away at Stoke, and we were at teams in that game. And even the goal we scored at the weekend, it came from a player putting pressure on the opposition. And funnily enough, if you put pressure on opponents, they make mistakes sometimes, and we just don't do that. It's just not part of his ethos at all.
Yeah, but as you say, the goal, I mean, you know, James McCarthy catching the centre back, I mean, what's he doing up there anyway, James McCarthy? I mean, I've said a couple of last week, I think, about James McCarthy, how he can do that. I think he just doesn't. And you know, you mentioned him, Roy Keane to Roy Cropper.
Is that how he was doing that too when he scored?
Probably,
I'll tell him every week, because he might actually... he was for the rest of the game, he was garbage, by the way.
He actually scuffed the shot in the corner as well.
But the thing is, he hit it early. He never had a chance to get set. You know, why don't more players do that?
I think he could do a job in that position as well, especially... It's a funny one though, because you lose something in attacking, don't you? But if you want to press high up the pitch and you've got him in a more advanced position, he can get at the defenders, can't he? Then stop them playing out from the back. But
well, I think it's more to do with how you set up, isn't it? It's not what people can do. If you say to a player, sit in front of the back four, they'll just sit in front of the back four. You've made life very easy for them, because they can disappear in that. I mean, how many times we said it? You know, that player plays in that position, they're great. You never see them, but when they're not playing, you know, you notice the difference. With McCarthy, he's just disappeared into that role completely. And you just go, well, yeah. But on Saturday certainly for the goal, I mean, he was furthest man forward, sniffing out danger.
Sucker's goal.
That's what you want to do. That's what we should be doing in packs. You know, that's why I think it'd be great to have more Bessers in the side, because you get that, you get more of that, you get people pressing higher up the pitch, catching mistakes, like people have done to us in the last couple of years, catching our centre backs out. You know, so that's what we just don't do that enough. We don't capitalise on other teams' mistakes, which.
Just the whole setup tho's wrong, isn't it? The formation's wrong, the setup's wrong, the personnel's wrong, but and what they do's wrong, because they're not an intense team. You look at, you know, you just think about the derby at Anfield, and you just think, no matter who we play, we're gonna get absolutely destroyed.
Just run all over us.
We're gonna get destroyed.
Confidence is flying in this room today.
No, but if you it's like Matt said,
looking at the way different teams play, isn't it?
It's walking pace. Everything we do is walking pace.
They're gonna have to. I mean, I've come to the opinion now where we were saying, you know, what do we do with that team? I think we play our strongest team at the derby, because we're gonna need.
Plays the strongest team anyway.
We're gonna need though.
Never changes.
No, I know, but we're gonna need. We're gonna need a run around, a real run around. I mean, Southampton might give us the run around anyway, but we're going to need a game before the semi-final to almost get us going.
Well, we're not going to have Jack El Kharabi. You don't go off for a hamstring.
No, I think he's out for the season.
He's out for the season now, probably, or at least 3 or 4 weeks. So it's Funes Mori and John Stones, which haven't got a mistake in them, to be honest, either of them. You know, he'll just play the same. He just plays the same team anyway. I thought Moyes was bad for that.
Yeah.
He just this fellow, like with the squad, we just play the same side all the time, don't we? Nothing there. And then when he makes a change, it never changes. Like Saturday in the second half, you're taking Barkley off, which Barkley wasn't having a good game, but you're taking him off. McCarthy being booked, and you're thinking he might get sent off here because they were claiming. How many times did they shout on ball, by the way, for everything, for even if it's your toe on ball? But he didn't really change anything.
No change in the system.
There was no system, no mix.
I think that's the biggest issue, isn't it? There's no change in the system.
2 forwards left on the.
But let's just talk about their goal for a moment, because if you thought Baz was in a mood up to now, he might go up a level now.
In quite a good mood.
So we scored in the we scored a 45 plus 1. You're thinking, yes, get in for half time.
1 minute injury time.
Yeah. Get in for half time. Happy days.
Did you actually think that though?
Do you know what, Matt? I didn't think anything, because I really wasn't sort of focused on the match. I was watching it, but it was just happening in front of my eyes. I wasn't really. Because I know Tansuba wasn't really partaking in it.
Because as soon as that corner went out, I thought, here we go.
Yeah. But I wasn't really. To me, the game on Saturday was just. I'm sitting here. There's a telly. It's on, and it was just happening. And I could have been anywhere, do you know what I mean? It wasn't sinking into me. It's like, you know, when you read a book and you read the same passage 14 times.
Like something you put in the background when you're making a tea or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but I was watching it, it just wasn't happening, it just wasn't sinking into my head. In fact, I had to go back and rewatch the corner about 14 times just to get it into my head. But you know, you're thinking last minute of the half, you're thinking, John Stone's got the ball at his feet. He divers, he said he's wanting Robles. Robles is like, no, just get rid of it, last minute. Then he gives it to him in the most ridiculous place. Robles just puts his foot through it, yes, it goes for the corner, and you're just thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing? corner comes in. Yes, Roble gets underneath it. Ends up hitting Seamus on the back and going in. But I mean, first of all, John Stones. We had this talent, this amazing talent. We just had to nurture him and look after him. Like, remember those little things? What were they called? The little Tamagotchis. We just had to look after it. Just had to feed it, water it. We just had to do the basic things to keep it going.
Keep it alive.
Nothing dramatic. Just check it every few hours. Just keep it going. Keep it going. We just let the batteries run dead, basically. We just ignored it.
Feed it.
We open the batteries, and when the batteries, the sulphur starts coming out, or whatever it is, and it goes white and crystal. That's basically John Stones at the moment.
His brain.
I was listening to Talksport the other day, and they were having a discussion, and it was Jason Cundy, like who I get on
that
with.
That cultured centre half.
But I get on with them quite well, and
friend of the show.
No, but he's got no time for Martinez, absolutely zero time. But I mean, obviously there is the Chelsea connection, but I was listening to him, and he said it a few times when I've been on their show, is John Stones has to leave Everton for his own good, or obviously get a new manager. But because what he's saying is basically from his experience, you're looking at a centre half and you're watching a centre half who's not being coached, who's just not being coached how to be a defender. It's continuing to happen. It's the most basic thing in the world. I mean, it got highlighted through the week because he did it for England, and that's when it's always going to be highlighted. They're not interested when he plays for Everton, or when if he's been linked with a big move, then it's important but it's happening again and again and again, and it's like clearly no one's getting hold of him and just saying, listen, just put your foot through it. It's the last minute of the half.
But you know what? In that game, if you remember, there was 2 or 3 times when he did do it early on, and he got it and he kicked it out, and all the fans went away cheering it. But I was quite happy with the fact that he was trying to do that. But I was saying to Baz before, it was as if, because we went 1-0 up, it was like, our boss are we? We're in 1-0 just before half time. Now we're going to relax.
Take a chance.
Now we're going to relax. We're going to calm down. Everything's okay. We're winning. And it just seems, and it's a problem not just with him either. It's a problem that's indicative of the whole team, because if you look at the
concentration.
If you look at the amount of times we've gone ahead in a game and then conceded straight after, I don't name their name more because there's so many, but that's a problem which runs through the whole side. And I think, and obviously the way he plays, it does get highlighted a little bit more, but the lack of concentration on the corner as well. You mentioned Coleman. Robles gets caught underneath it. It's like everyone just switches off when we go in front, and it's been well documented how many leads we've thrown away this season. And I think that again, I don't want to just hang Martinez out to dry, but it all stems back to the manager and the motivation and the focus he's got to be instilling in these players.
Come on, Baz. I feel like I'm trying to pry you open like a can of beans.
It's gone to the stage now where it's just accepting. I highlighted this. I spoke about this in November, and you were going, no, he's boss, and I was saying, he's getting worse. No, he's boss. He's getting worse, and he's got worse and worse and worse. And for a fact that 99% of the time, I'm right.
But I still think he's boss.
He is boss. He is boss. But the kid can't defend to save his life.
I think he
because he's allowed. He's been allowed. He's been never held culpable. He should have been hung out to dry by the manager. I
wouldn't say hang out to dry. I think you've got to be careful with young players. But
there's your problem.
But I do think
there's your problem.
But I do think. Because I do think it's how you, and when you say hang out to die, if he'd been dropped, then I absolutely agree with you. But he was allowed.
He should have been.
But he was allowed to be. Again, he was allowed to be injured.
What do you mean by hung out to dry?
He should have been, because in press conferences he should have been saying the kid John Stones at 100% to blame. Should have cleared the ball. But he's not going to do it because he's telling him. He's encouraging it. All of this, and people go on and this is, you're half the problem, the people who buy into that theory with Martinez, that it's okay for him to make mistakes. He's a young player. I don't support a friggin' nursery where they can come and make mistakes before they go to school. If you like that, brilliant. That's not Everton who I watch. Same with Lukaku. Let him iron out all his kinks. We won't get on his back because his touch is like a brick wall. Do you know what I mean? But Ross Barkley, fuck me, kid can't pass it 3 yards, otherwise everyone's on his back. Do you know what I mean? And this is the problem that runs through Everton. Stones would never have made that mistake twice under Moyes, ever.
I've got no issue with him not hanging out to dry in public, but I don't feel as though anything's being done behind the scenes.
Well, Matt, you've got no. You see, this is what the problem is that we're all assuming he will do it on the quiet.
No, but I'm saying he's not doing it on the quiet.
He's not doing it at all.
No, that's what I mean.
And that's what I'm saying. If he'd have come out in November when he was making mistake after mistake, he should have ripped the arse out of him. Was it Spurs at home when he was doing drag backs? I mean, never lost the game. He should have destroyed him in a press conference and said he won't do that again because that's pathetic. He cleared the ball, and then everyone would have gone. Like, the manager doesn't like it either. Fair enough, but that's the manager. And that's where the cracks have appeared.
That's just not this manager, is it?
No, so that's why I feel sorry for John Stones now.
That's what I'm saying.
He's allowed to slip into this malaise where I can do whatever I want because he's not going to get on me back.
Well, you feel that anyway. You feel like they can all do what they want. You can feel like they all can do.
But the other side to that is John Stones playing for Barnsley. I'm quite sure he'd just put that in the stand immediately, just straight out. The referee, they took the throw. But
I also think, sorry, Matt, because I'll throw this one to you, Matt. But I also think it's not just the responsibility of the manager. I also think the senior players on that pitch who should be having a go at him, like seriously having a go at him. I think Jag should be. To be fair, I'd rather see Jag scream at him. I think if Jag screams at a centre-back partnership, it's a lot better than the manager coming out on a press conference. It's as public.
But he's never been. My point is, right, he's made about.
No, it's never been.
He's cost us Swansea at home, Arsenal about with a back pass and put it. Howard as well, but it was him. We were winning. Or it was 0-0.
Getting back into that
well, nobody's done it. It's because it's a direct back pass. And it's a short goal. 0-0, goal. Stoke at home, dived. Don't blame Howard for that, it was Stones. And there's been many this season, and he's got away with a couple as well. If the manager would have even once said John Stones is to blame there, and we'll be having a word with him, because that's not good enough.
He doesn't blame anyone though.
I know, but this is the thing. So they're all.
That's it.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'd like to see senior players grab him and grab him. No, but I'd like to see it.
We haven't got anyone.
No, we have got senior players.
No, we have got senior players.
Who's the one to do it? You've just said I like to see Jags, but you're saying to me, this isn't that manager. Well, that's not Jag Yelka.
Well, there's Barry, there's Jag Yelka, there's
Barry. I'm not being funny, mate. Gareth Barry, you could paint his walls wrong and he wouldn't tell you off. He'd just go. He'd probably boot you, but he wouldn't.
I think there's a lot of players on the pitch who should be doing it. Alright, we'll forget about who they are, but I think there's players on the pitch.
I don't think we've got one, Ped. I don't think we've got one, apart from Mo Bezic, who is likely. But
then you've got...
Get out, pull your friggin' jeans up as well, fucking Spider-Man bills. The thing is, right, he's going for a long walk. Oh, he's still
right hand Peds.
Ped, what I'm trying to say, mate, is that there isn't one player. You should have interrupted me by now. If you'd have been Ped, you'd have interrupted
me.
Lad,
what are you talking about? No, I don't think there is. I'm behind the cameraman, but I don't think there is a player either. I disagree with Ped. I don't think there's anyone to shout at him. The one that comes close maybe was Howard, maybe. He sort of screams his head off every now and then.
What the fuck's going on? Just because you're making more sense. That's right for you. No, I think it's a problem that runs.
How come he never wants me on the show? And then suddenly he comes on and he's got loads to say?
Everything's gone from right the way. I think it's a problem right the way through the team. I think it's the manager. Who's the defensive coach? What's his name?
Don't know.
That big fella who's about 9'3".
Oh, Dennis Lawrence.
He's playing the World Cup, hasn't he?
What? A chess World Cup?
I think
he's never kicked a ball in his life. Sorry.
I don't think you can see his feet.
What I'll say about that, what players getting a grip of him is, it's conflicting ideologies then, isn't it? And when you've got a manager saying one thing, then you've got senior players doing another thing. It's not conducive to a healthy environment.
I think that seems to be happening anyway, Matt.
That's what I mean. That's not good, is it? If you've got senior players and the manager telling a young lad different things. He's going to get muddled, he's going to get he's going to get confused in the way he's playing.
It's not even John, it's just all of it. It's all of it. It's not like John Stones isn't the problem. He's on Saturday he's got hold his hand up and go, I should just put out and then we'd have been winning. But he's not, he's just one of the little bits of the problem. The whole problem is right the way through. It's what I'm saying. No one's going to have a go with each. They don't have a go with each other when you see them. The only person I can remember in recent times in this side pointing the finger at anyone, screaming in anyone's face, plays for Norwich and has been brilliant for Norwich lately. He's the only one who I can see who had any kind of fight in him. Our captain, as good a defender as he is quiet. The fullbacks who are senior are both quiet. Coleman throws the arm every now and then, doesn't really do anything. Do you know what I mean? The keeper, has a little bit of a organising, doesn't have a go at anyone. Gareth Barry doesn't say a word, neither does James McCarthy. Ross doesn't say a word. Lukaku says loads to the press about movement, doesn't say anything on the pitch. Delafeu messes with his hair too much. Lennon hasn't even been on the pitch the last couple of weeks. You can go right the way through, then you bring Bezic in, he's great to punch in the ground. You know, there's nobody, there's no one in the squad, there's nobody.
But again, this is his squad now. These are the personalities.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
These are the personalities he's picked to take this club forward.
Yeah.
It's got his imprint all over it now. It's not somebody else's squad who had a good balance, had a few leaders in there. This is Martinez, and it's got his grubby mitts all over it, hasn't it? We haven't got any leaders in this team.
Yeah, there's no one who's gonna challenge him, is there? I actually think
Jones.
I actually think Moyes liked characters in the squad that would challenge him.
Yeah.
That would, there was always rumours about him and Dunk, and you always felt like Moyes loved that. Like he would probably love that challenge of having a player like him. Like that wasn't an issue to him. Like he wanted to handle
but he still used them.
But even that's what I'm saying.
Even though he didn't like
Moyes was a big ego, wasn't he? I mean, that was probably maybe the downfall. It was the downfall of Moyes. It was his ego which drove him to want to go to Man United, which is that's fair enough. But so he liked challenging himself against other egos. Whereas at the moment, like you've just said correctly, there's no one in there, and that's where sometimes you need someone, don't you, who'll just challenge someone, who'll just push them.
Well, you've mentioned, haven't you, about Ferguson and the way he changed his assistant manager every few years. Look at the captain he had for most of that time, Roy Keane. Didn't even speak to each other anymore, do they? Because they were at odds with each other. They were both big characters.
Well, he let Keane say what he wants till the day that he said something, and how can I put this? Keane couldn't back it up. Do you know what I mean? Like Keane would say things like Keane could say literally whatever he wanted at Man United because Ferguson knew on the Saturday Keane would back it up and run through brick walls. And then when he said that final thing he said about the players, he had to get rid of him because there was other players who were the players he were having a go at were better than him by that stage. And we've seen that because he went to like Celtic and he was just in bits. He should have signed for Everton. He said that himself. And he never.
Understand what I mean about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's big characters.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You need sometimes as a manager to just take a little step back and let the players have a little fight amongst themselves.
You've got to have in every good side. There's an imprint of the manager. Someone will mirror the manager in every team, and everyone's doing a great job of mirroring the manager in our team because they're all quiet and nice, and you can see with the tackles with miles ahead in the fair play league. The only year you don't get in Europe for it. We've won that because we don't really put a tackle in. We don't really do anything, and that's the thing. Whereas under Moyes, you have people, people used to deride Phil Neville, they used to rip Phil Neville, but I tell you what, on the pitch he'd pull people, he'd have a go, he'd be in the referee's ear. We nearly took Ronaldo's head off, which you'd have Fellaini who would be throwing the elbow about, mixing it. If he wasn't mixing it verbally with the players, he'd show them, he'd give them the Cahill. Tim Cahill was brilliant at doing it. They were real characters, distant.
And then, to be fair, right, we have got one. His name's Kevin Morales, but he's such a.
I'm not sure he's the same.
But he's such an idiot that he does it all the wrong way. Like he's got that aggression, but he doesn't know how to channel it. And he's 28 now. He's never going to be able to channel. If he knew how to, like on Saturday, Morales came on and he was our man of the match. For 50, nobody was though. Right. 50, I know, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. How bad we were though. He was his little cameo sparked about 3 chances in the space of 15 minutes. But he's got that little bit of side, but he doesn't know how to channel it. And if he did know how to channel it, he'd be like, I'm not saying he'd be like a Ronaldo, but he'd have that little horrible sort of like, he's boss, but you don't really, you like him, but because he's boss, but you think you're a bit of a tit, aren't you? But he doesn't know how to challenge. He just.
We think that about him, but for a different reason, don't we?
No, but that's what I'm saying. You look at him and go, "You're stupid." But if he could be stupid and back it up with good football, because there is a good footballer in there. Everyone knows that.
Definitely.
But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. If he could channel that arrogance and that aggression, he could be a hell of a footballer. But if he hasn't got found out to do it by now, he's never going to find. But that again, that's maybe where you do need a manager who knows how to do that for you. Whereas Martinez has let him, has sort of gone, you're not my cup of tea, so I'm just going to put you over there, and now and again we'll use you. And stupidly, every time he uses him, he's so hyped up that he does something stupid, or he's so hyped up that it just flips and he has a nothing game.
Or you need a manager who can add that sort of thing to other people's games. You might not necessarily have it. Like I mentioned Spurs before, you're watching them, and Eric Lamela, you know, what was he like in the first month of the season, first year of the season? Now he's got a horrible, nasty side. He gets around the pitch, puts tackles in, Dembele's and all.
But you know what that is as well, on Matt? That's a manager getting hold of him and saying, you know what? I'm going to make you a better player. I'm going to take all your best bits, and we're going to harbour them, and we're going to make, because first he was terrible, wasn't he? And even at Roma, he was a bit of sort of like
flyaway, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like he did it, but Pochettino's got that discipline where you just think, go on.
Yeah, the other thing as well is though that with the likes of Lamela is if you've got 6 or 7 doing that, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise you stand out like a sore thumb and you're out the side. So you're right, Pochettino will have drilled that in, but because he's drilled it into the other, Christian Eriksen's the other one. He's the most gifted player, one of the most gifted players in the Premier League, and he works so hard. He runs up and down. The goal he scored at Anfield last week, he chased the lost cause. He should never have been able to keep the ball in. It was too hard. He kept it alive and Kane scored. And when you've got that, other players encourage you to do it. Whereas when you look, if you were an Everton player, you're up front Saturday like Lukaku and you're looking around, everyone is walking. Everybody is walking around the pitch. So why? We've seen it with Lennon at Old Trafford the week before when he went pressing that ball. And then he turned around, no one else is running, throws his arms up in the air. Because everything is fractured.
It's a long day if you're doing that on your own, isn't it?
Everything is fractured. The whole thing is fractured. And we've wrecked Ron because we put him up front saying, right, our nearest men are 30 yards away. So be able to control, and he can't control a football. He can't do it. He's 23 now or something, isn't he? And he's still 20. He can't do the basics of a target man. He doesn't know how to bring a ball down and hold it. He wants the ball at his feet to run onto it, or he'll get on the end of things. That's not his problem. It's just the fact that he can't do it. Aruna Kone can't score 30 goals.
Yeah.
You know, but he can bring a ball down under control. So you can't have a go at Lukaku because he can't do one aspect of it. So what you do is you help him out. So what you do is they're 1-1 with Watford in let's be honest, a nothing game. Literally a nothing game. So with half an hour to play, put 2 forwards on. Go and change your system. Mix it up a little bit. Go a little bit crazy. You know,
2 strikers.
2 forwards. Woo! Because they were playing 2 forwards and he was still outrunning us in midfield.
Get the ass on!
But it's that whole thing right the way through the club. And that's the problem, is that the whole thing looks a massive mess at the moment. And you don't know, like you said before, can't see any way back. Because I can't see any way. I can't see us picking momentum up. Palace on Wednesday, you look and you think, if Balassi and Punchin do play well, they'll probably beat us. Because can we match that intensity? We've got the ability to tonk them. You know, and I'd like to think we're going to react one of these games. Then we've got Southampton at the weekend, who were in good form, dangerous. Then Liverpool, they were playing well now. Then a semi-final, you know, and before you know it, we're going to be at 6 o'clock in that semi-final and going, we need to get some form here.
April as a month is just, I mean,
it's a lot of games.
It's not only a lot of games.
And are we fit? Are we fit enough?
Probably not. No.
Do we look strong?
The second half, I mean, let's just quickly touch on the second half. Second half, I mean, we had a couple of chances. Rom should have scored. Obviously, at the bar from was the Morales' free kick, was it? There was a couple he just wasn't. He wasn't just there. He was just trying. He did one last week at Old Trafford as well. Same thing. Just couldn't get in front. Again, that's fit. Looks like sharpness, doesn't it? Fitness, sharpness. But Joel, a couple of brilliant. I mean, that save Joel made in the last minute. That was an absolutely fantastic save. Come off Stones' shoulder, didn't it? And absolutely.
There's one from Gerardo in the first half. There's a clap as well.
That was a fantastic, absolutely fantastic save. But again, very little. The last 15 minutes when Morales come on, we upped it a little bit, but you just felt like if we could have just upped it, you know what I mean? Just give a little bit more, we could have easily won the game, no problem, because they're nothing special at all. They looked low on confidence. They were happy not to be losing the game. That was quite clear. They're not, they're happy to be staying in the Premier League, whereas we're the ones who really need the points. You know what I mean? It's more important for us, surely.
Yeah, it's that spell in the game, isn't it? When you think you've got better technical players, which we have, and you've got better manipulations of the ball. You'd expect us to come strong in the game, get a grip of it and pin them back for a bit, but we let them out so easily all the time. They had, like you mentioned there, they had 2 strikers, so they had an outlet all the time to get out and up the pitch, and we just really struggled to pin them back. And it's been a hallmark of our season really, how whenever we've been pulled back, whenever we've gone behind, we've really struggled to get any momentum going again. We never seem to get at teams. And just watching West Ham on Saturday, and Arsenal went 2-0 up, and you can compare their response to ours and the way they went after them, isolated their weaknesses and went for it ruthlessly. And the same thing with Watford at the weekend. We just never really put any pressure on the back four at all. Gomez had to make a couple of decent saves, didn't he? But nothing too spectacular.
I think in September, October, we'd have won that about 3-0. That game. I think when we were playing with a little bit of confidence and a little bit more intensity, we'd have won that game. But that's been December onwards. That was an Everton, and that's 5 months. Not acceptable. You know, we've 4 wins in 18 games. You know, it's half a season, and you've won 4.
2 semis though. 2 semis.
No, but you look at that and you just think there's something massively wrong, isn't it? And this is the thing with, you know, without going on again too much about the manager, is why would you put any confidence in this changing next year if he stays? Why? Where's the signs? Where's the shoot to recovery? Don't put an FA Cup in front of it, because Wigan done that, and they're in League One. You know, Portsmouth have won a cup, Birmingham have won a trophy recent times. You know, the cup is 5-6 games, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, let's be honest, we played a couple of mugs in to get through the first couple of rounds. Yes, you've got to beat them, but you know, we didn't have strong opposition. The best performance was obviously Chelsea. You know, but I look at that West Ham and United, and you just think, at this moment today, I can't see how we can get past either of them.
Yeah.
Especially not West Ham.
You want silverware to supplement other things, don't you? You want, and that all the things you mentioned there are why I wouldn't keep him even if we won the cup, because long term, the FA Cup's not an antidote to some of the problems we've got. It's a band-aid covering a bullet hole, or a succession of bullet holes. Really, it's
great. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, but it'd be wonderful, and we'd celebrate, and he left his name in the club's history and everything. But once that all died down and the hysteria died down, you'd be thinking, oh, hang on, next season, are we going to have the same issues again?
Extra points for dropping Taylor Swift lyrics into the show as well there, Matt.
What was that?
Oh yes, you know.
Honestly, seriously, what one?
Oh, he knows.
He was humming it for his
I love Taylor Swift.
Do you write a song about you?
Right. Yeah, so 1-1. Happy days.
At least we didn't lose. We stopped the rot.
It's a strong performance.
We stopped the rot. 3 defeats on the
I felt as though we lacked chemistry, and we were relying on individuals a bit much though in that game.
Don't sit, Matt. You'll be bad. You'll be kicked out. You'll be forced to apologise.
Or they'll just say you apologised, even if you didn't.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, another fun game. They're coming thick and fast now. The fun games. Can't wait for Crystal Palace.
Pards.
Can't wait for the Pards action.
#Pards.
Another team in a semi-final. This will be fun. At least they won the game of the weekend. That was like the first one they won for ages, wasn't it? So
we can't do that.
So you know they won't. So no, but I mean they can't like turn us over now and
go. It was our first win in 108 games or something.
Right, tell us what you thought about this game. Yeah. In the comments, lowest comments.
Don't forget to watch us next year. It might be better.
Yeah. I know. Just stick with us. We don't want to moan. We're being forced to. Don't forget to subscribe. We're heading toward that 8,000 mark. Don't forget Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat's fun at the moment. Get on that. Toffee TV 1878. That's fun. Yeah. Not much else at the moment. We'll be back on Toffee TV soon, probably.